The popularity of the mental and emotional midgetry that's propagated by the propagandists on leftist and rightist alternative media news sites like this one right here, Keith Edwards, is pretty overwhelming. If you look at numbers like this, and there are a lot of things that are suspect on it. This guy created this YouTube channel on Christmas Day of 2005. For a long time, he had 0 subscribers, 0 views. Then all of a sudden, 65,000 views, goes up to 7.6 million views per month. He's got 12 million views. Now he's up to 64 million views every single month. This guy is averaging just this month 2.1 million daily average views every single day. He's averaging about $250,000 per month just in ad revenue. And he does it putting out mind-numbing leftist status garbage like this.
It's been a really big week, and now we are wrapping things up with the morning shows, and we have Jasmine Crockett, we have Zora Mamdani, and J.D. Vance kind of admitting the problem that Donald Trump doesn't want to talk about. First, let's get to Jasmine Crockett, who said this about Marjorie Taylor Greene resigning.
Mind when you first heard shocking announcement from Congresswoman Greene, what went through your mind when you first heard she was going to resign on January 5th?
You know what? Honestly, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. You're on the other side of the president for 1 week and you can't take the heat. Imagine what it is to sit in my shoes, to not only be on the opposite side of him, but to have people like her who are constantly fanning the flames of hate. And imagine what those
fanning the flames of hate. That's what the government does. That's what the government is good at. And then when you become a part of the government, you become a part of that operation, that machine that fans hate, greed, theft, violence. Jasmine Crockett is a part of it. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a part of it. Joe Biden was a part of it. Donald Trump is a part of it. So they have no ground to stand on. Even the supposed first president of the United States said government is not eloquence. It's not reason. It is force. And like fire, it's a dangerous servant and a fearful master. And these people worked for this fearful master. And the Keith Edwards of the world, the Adam Mocklers of the world, the Midas Touches, the Ben Shapiros, the Dave Rubins, the TYT, the Piers Morgans, they all fan this flame of violence and evil.
threats look like when you literally are someone like me. But at the end of the day, I know that I serve the people of Texas 30. And so my job isn't to be there and necessarily do whatever is going to make the president not be on my back, but instead is to focus on making sure that I can push forward with policies that are positive for Texas 30.
And that's another easily disprovable myth that just everybody believes in whole cloth. She can't serve Texas 30, District 30. District 30 in Texas has over 772,000 people in it. She can't serve every one of those individuals, even if they were all Democrats. There's somebody she's letting down in there. You can't serve all 772,000 people. There's 80% Democrats. That's about 320,000. There's 15% Republicans, that's about 60,000, and 5% independents, that's 20,000. So there's at least 80,000 in there in District 30 that you're not serving. So this is a lie on its face. But because of the success of the indoctrination of mental midgetry, everybody just buys into this.
On making sure that I can push forward with policies that are positive for Texas 30.
You know, I actually said this before. And this past week, I had this realization, perhaps maybe not the biggest insight, but I did say this. And here's what I have to say about this on my Instagram. And by the way, you should follow me on Instagram. We're trying to get to 300,000 followers on Instagram. If you have Instagram, follow me. It's at Keith Edwards. But here's what I had to say.
Here's one thing I noticed about Marjorie Taylor Greene's recent switch from being for Trump to against Trump is that she's been an enemy of the left for, what, 5 years?
An enemy of the left. It's the left versus right dog and pony show. You got to buy into it. You got to give us your ticket before you can enter the big top. Then you can participate in the three-ring circus.
she's been in politics.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, you need to get rid of your diaper and come out and be able to talk to the American citizens instead of us having to use a little flap.
And she's been against Trump for about 5 days. Never needed security for the entire time she's been against the left. But the second she goes against Trump, she has to get bodyguards. Because why? Because the left isn't violent and the right with Donald Trump is.
The left isn't violent, but the right is. Even though we're all part of the government, we're all pro-Federal Reserve. We're all pro-IRS and income tax and property taxes and the prison industrial complex and the military industrial complex and giving boatloads of money to Israel and stealing more of your hard-earned income. But we're not violent. We're the party of peace.
Yeah. So I think it's really interesting the moment that she gets a little bit of heat. She's like, I'm out. I'm out. Meanwhile, we're all over here. I get death threats all the time. I don't even talk to you about them because I'm just like, it's kind of like background noise at this point, which is very sad. But I get death threats a lot on the internet. In my message, like people message me them saying they want to like fill my family with lead. Really nice stuff. But what we do here is more.
But you want to fill other families with lead, Keith, because you want guns taken from people because you claim to be against gun violence, and yet you're actually for the gun violence of the government so that they can take guns away from people in high capacity magazines and bump stocks. You're for all that violence, Keith. When you say you want gun safety legislation, how's that going to be enforced? What if somebody resists, Keith? You're sanctioning the filling of lead of the people by the government so that you can enact your anti-Second Amendment laws.
More important than idle threats from insane people who don't fully understand what's happening in this country. And it's just really, I don't know. It's just, I don't even know how to say it. Like, she's just like a weak individual. If you can't stand the heat for even a week. I mean, not to say that what I was experiencing is anything close to having the president on your back, but Marjorie Taylor Greene benefited from the president's death ray shooting at her enemies for a long time. The second it's on her, she's like, I'm out. Well, how do you think that felt for everyone else? Moving on to Mamdani, who was in the New York City, who was on Meet the Press. Goddamn. Here's what they had to say.
NYPD would be the ones to do so.
In that press conference with President Trump, a reporter asked you whether you believe that President Trump is in fact a fascist, a word that you've used in the past. You were about to answer, then President Trump sort of jumped in and he said, quote, that's okay, you can just say yes. It's easier than explaining it. So, Mr. Mayor-elect, just to be very clear, do you think that President Trump is a fascist?
And after President Trump said that, I said yes. And
so you do?
And that's something that I've said in the past. I say it today.
He said it. What I don't, like, you're wasting so much time. This is an important individual, going to run one of the biggest cities in the world. And you're stuck on the fact that he called Donald Trump a fascist. He said it before. He's saying it. He said it.
Says the guy who's stuck on calling the right violent. All right, we've already said it before. We've already established this. I'm an important video. Okay, we need to cover this again. Mamdani called him a fascist. That's a big deal. Trump says he doesn't mind being called a fascist or a despot. Trump called Mamdani and still believes that he's a communist. So what do you have here, Keith? Why aren't you breaking it down for people? You have a communist who calls himself a communist and a fascist who doesn't mind being called a fascist or a despot getting together. Do you think that's for the benefit of the people? Do you think that's going to benefit anybody but the techno bros, the corporate elitists, and the big banksters in Wall Street? Why are you, Keith, and people like you just adding to the problem?
In the Oval Office to Donald Trump's face, and you still want him to say it again on TV when you could be asking him about so many other things. And this is like, I worked in reality TV. This is literally just reality TV. It's like, what is the benefit to any of this?
And I think what I appreciated about the conversation that I had with the president was that we were not shy about the places of disagreement, about the politics that has brought us to this moment. And we also wanted to focus on what it could look like to deliver on a shared analysis of an affordability crisis.
This is tantamount to FDR working with Stalin against Hitler. All of it is a stage show. Every one of them are actors on a stage playing their part to deceive the American people.
You've also said in the past that President Trump has engaged in a, quote, attack on our democracy. You've called him a despot. Do you still believe President Trump is a threat to the democracy?
Everything that I've said in the past, I continue to believe. And that's the thing that I think is important in our politics, is that we don't shy away from where we have disagreements, but we understand what it is that brings us to that table. Because I'm not coming into the Oval Office to make a point or make a stand. I'm coming in there to deliver for New Yorkers. And a few weeks ago, I was asked by a reporter 3 words to describe myself. I said New York City. And that's what animated that conversation. How do we deliver for the people of New York City?
I think that some of your supporters would be curious to know, you say you stand by your past statements that, yes, he's a threat to the democracy. How do you square working with someone who you still think is a threat to the democracy?
I think working for the people of New York City demands that you work with everyone and anyone, and that you always look to find those areas of agreement while not overlooking the places of disagreement. And I think this was something...
No, I work with pedos. I work with bankster-bought puppets because I feel like if I work with bankster-bought puppets who also happen to be greedy, narcissistic pedos, we can really deliver for the American people. And in my case, we can deliver for New York City. Tell me how any of that makes any sense at all. But Keith Edwards and Democrat propagandists really buy this hook, line, and sinker. I mean, seriously, this nonsense isn't obvious.
Something that came up in our meeting. We spoke about immigration. We spoke about the fact that in New York City, we have sanctuary city policies that allow for the city to work with the federal government on around 170 serious crimes. The concern for so many New Yorkers comes about anything beyond that. And I spoke about the importance of us being able to protect New Yorkers, and some of the incidents that we see, they do not do that.
That guy's so good. I would have been so pissed off. But yeah, I mean...
That guy is so good. He's a freaking communist, Keith. He wants to take people's hard-earned income. He's not going to do good. Have you even studied communism and what it does to the majority of the people as it enriches the few? There are always oligarchs in that kind of structure, whether you're talking about socialism, communism, Marxism. It's a wealth redistribution structure, and current puppets like Mamdani are no different from the puppets of the past. But Keith is like, damn, he's so good.
I think it makes sense to me. What do you think? It makes sense to me that, Donald Trump is the president. He's in power. So what are you going to do? You say he's a threat to democracy. I'm not working with him. Bill de Blasio tried that. How'd that work out? Okay. Not very well. I think you got to try it this way. You got to say, hey, I don't like this guy. What he's basically saying is, I don't fuck with this guy. Like, imagine you don't like your boss. You still got to go to work. You still got to listen to them. You still got to work for them, right? Now, he doesn't work directly for the President of the United States, but the President of the United States has a lot of power, can make things harder or easier for the citizens in New York City.
So if your boss was a known pedo, hanging out with pedos, protecting billionaire pedos, clearly dangling from the strings of the Zio International banking cartel, running the corporation into the ground, destroying the lives of his employees by raising prices all over the place through monetary and quantitative easing with his bankster buddies. Tell you what, say he was the CEO for some kind of automotive corporation and he was going around pouring sugar in all of the gas tanks. Would you be out there supporting that guy? Would you be out there working for that guy? Or would you stand on your principles and find another job?
I'd much rather have someone who thinks that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, understands the threat he poses to our country, and still has him on his side and is willing to work with him. Sounds like a good scenario to me. Meanwhile,
oh my God. I can't even believe we're working through this. It just sounds like a good scenario to me that my guy compromises on his moral stand, shows the world that he actually has no principles, and then moves over on the other side of the chessboard to support and work with Donald J. Trump, because that's how we get things done for the American people. No. Bipartisan politics and the uniting of the left and the right always works against the American people. If you don't believe me, just look up what happened in the early 2000s with the Patriot Act, which currently has abiding, catastrophic, tyrannical effects.
You have J.D. Vance, who knows that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, but overlooks it. And because he's overlooked it, he's allowed this to happen.
There's a lot more work to do. And the thing that I'd ask for the American people is a little bit of patience. And as much progress as we've made, it's going to take a little bit of time for every American to feel that economic boom, which we really do believe is coming.
Despite Trump's...
No, the economic boom is not coming. The economic boom is only here for the billionaires. And you know it. You know that you've called Donald Trump American Hitler, and yet here you are trying to waste our time. And here you are lying to people about something they know to be true, which is...
You have too. You and your ilk have called him the American Hitler too. And now you're saying it's okay for Mamdani to work with the American Hitler.
That things cost more. And I just like that Zohar Mamdani is showing that there is a way in which you can actually stick to the things you believe in and still get what you want from the other side.
What? What is going on here, man? Holy schmackerel. Holy schmackerel.
We'll see what happens because he has nothing's fundamentally changed yet. But I'd much rather be a Zohar Mamdani saying all the shit I believe in to their face, by the way, which I think Donald Trump respected, rather than be JD Vance and change everything you believe just so you be close to power and never actually become powerful.
You know what this is? This is people like Keith Edwards going, look, I believe this lying, parasitic, psychopathic puppet because he sounds more believable than this lying, psychopathic, parasitic puppet.
All right, and then here's what Jennifer Welch actually had to say about JD Vance.
He is married to a woman of Indian descent.
Yes.
He has mixed race children.
Yes.
So to all of the MAGA voters out there, if this man will not defend his wife and will not defend his kids, do you think he gives a crap about you or anything to do with you?
No, he does not. He doesn't give a crap about anything but himself.
But Zoran does. Zoran Mamdani does. AOC does. Ilhan Omar do. They care about, they give a crap about us. Bernie Sanders does. Elizabeth Warren does. But all these people on the right, they don't care about us. They don't give a crap about us. And that is the statist mental midgetry that I'm talking about. If you guys see it, please let me know in the comment section. I'm feeling a little alone here. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. If you like these videos, maybe you'll like some of my others. Check out my most popular playlist. If you want to support the channel further, you can do it for free. Just like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon. If you want to support even further, grab a shirt, become a channel member. But remember, the government, I don't care if it's left or right government, the government is the parasitic, psychopathic, criminal, thieving gang that you were afraid would take over in the absence of government. I'll see you in the next video.